and it sees the Gunners leapfrog their opponents into the Champions League places. With everything that was surrounding this fixture and surrounding the Aubameyang situation, stripped of the captaincy, banned from playing last night, was this something of a performance of vindication for Arteta, do you think?
Well, they had. I saw the highlights because after my stable diet of doom, and more doom on the news channels, I went and sat in a dark room for a little bit to recover.
Right.
But I saw the highlights. But you look at the performance against Southampton, and you look at the response to dropping him for that game.
Yeah.
And you would expect Arsenal to be responsive. And you would expect Arteta to have got his message across because he's taken a brave stance and he must believe that he's able to elicit a response from those players. So 2 games where Aubameyang hasn't featured, and he didn't feature much against Everton either, and they were very poor in that particular game. But does it vindicate him? I suppose if vindication is what you require when you make a decision to drop a player for disciplinary matters, then I suppose it does. I think it just cements the fact that Arsenal can perform and other players can step up and sort of grab the nettle when this Herbert is performing the way he performs.
You're
off the
not
pitch.
having him, are you?
Not really, no.
Would you have him back?
I would always have someone back because we live in a redemptive society and you should give people an opportunity to redeem themselves. In my view, he's a recidivist. He does this as a matter of course for the entirety of his career. And Arteta is saying, in my view, this is Arsenal Football Club.
Yeah.
This is how we're going to operate, and I'm going to live, thrive, survive or die by these standards, and I think that's right.
Sure. On Arteta, one thing, if you watch the highlights you might not have seen it, but I watched it live last night. Like many watching live,
histrionics,
the histrionics on the sidelines. I mean, honest to God, Simon, at one stage it looked as if Arteta was the 12th man playing on the pitch,
flagging down planes.
It's a bit distracting, is it not? A bit unnecessary.
Well, I mean, look, it started many years ago when we saw Mourinho running down the full length of the touchline when he was managing Porto against Manchester United in the Champions League. We've seen all this before, haven't we?
Yeah.
This breed of managers that are very close to being players, are engaged. I've never liked managers to be over-demonstrative because I think it's for the crowd. I'm not entirely sure it's for the benefit of the players. But a lot of fans think that's emotional investment. They think it's great to see that sort of dynamic. We've seen managers headbutt players, for crying out loud, with Alan Pardew years ago. So we've got to the stage where you see situations like this. I think it's a sideshow. But, it's investment. And I do believe it's probably genuine investment because that's this sort of age group of players, managers now, this sort of dynamic that they bring to bear. Conte's like a raving lunatic inside the technical area, isn't he?
But there's a limit though, Simon, is there not? I mean, as an owner, would you want to see that?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't want to see it.
I think it crosses the line. Yes, it's passion, but hang on a second. You're not actually one of the players. You're not on the playing surface.
No, but football is an emotional sport, and you expect your manager to be able to distance himself from situations where he behaves inappropriately. But in the heat of battle, does it really matter? It's a little bit unsightly. It's a little bit demonstrative. But I look at it and say, okay, you're a young manager.
It is what
and
it
you
is.
might look back on yourself a bit like, the character out of Shawshank Redemption and say, have a word with that younger self that you had,
Yeah, true. Okay. Everton were the last side outside the traditional elite to break in, finishing 4th in 2005. That, of course, bar Leicester's title triumph in 2016. Why has the top 4, Simon, become such a closed shop in the last decade? Because it really has. It's those and then it's the rest.
Ostensibly because those are the guys that have all the money. So when you get to that point where the prize that awaits you from the Champions League, and the question is often abounding, which is more prevalent, winning something or getting inside the top 4? Well, there's sort of, in financial terms, you're winning something by getting inside the top 4. In sporting merit terms, nobody will remember in 20 years' time who finished 4th or 3rd in the Premier League to qualify in the Champions League. They'll remember who won the FA Cup, and possibly who won the league and the Champions League. But it's a dynamic, it's a throw out of sport now where the financial rewards of playing in additional tournaments almost becomes a win in their own right. So you look at the challenge of it and say, okay, that tends to be the big 4 sides that get into that top position, and out of 6 that we pick out of a basket that we say are the self-anointed big 6. Those are the ones that buy the players, that have the conditionality in their contracts that they want to play in Champions League football. So all of that leads to a situation where you almost become a league of top 4, middle 4, or top 4, top 8, middle 8 to 12, bottom 4, and so on and so forth.
Sure. Sure. I just wonder if there's any other people out there irritated by Arteta. Just in the passing, give me a shout on that if you are.
Tottenham fans, I suspect.
Because I thought, I must admit, unnecessary, over the top, but let me know what you think.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.